Creative Magic Club. What's up? This is Sarah Mack and welcome to Creative Magic Club. Together, we'll discover inspirational stories of creative entrepreneurs living out their dreams, doing the work they are most passionate about, and building wealth in magical and fun ways. While building a six-figure income as a writer and coach, helping other women to launch their dream businesses, I've connected with so many incredible people and seen it proven again and again that you can thrive financially doing whatever it is you are passionate about. I'm here to share life-changing strategies for mindset, making money, and reaching more people with your work in a business and life filled with creativity, freedom, and fun. Hi, welcome back to the Creative Magic Club podcast. I am your host, Sarah Mack from withsarahmack.com, and I have a pretty cool client story to tell you today, and I want to share this as testament to what's possible. Number one, when you decide to launch that vision and that idea, and number two, when you just allow yourself in the aligned collaborators to bring that vision to life really freaking quickly. And what I'm going to share is one client who did my private intensive. We did a 90-minute call together and we did a week of Voxer support. And within that time, we took her idea that she'd been dreaming about launching a group program for, I'm not sure how long, but it sounds like she'd been kind of putting this idea on the back burner for a pretty long time, to creating, like getting really clear on the offer, creating the sales page for it, launching it. And she had over 20 applications within 1 week of bringing her idea to fruition, putting it out there and beginning to launch the program. She went on to have more than a six-figure launch with this group program. She was hugely successful. So I just want to share a bit of the behind the scenes of that process and to break it down so you can understand how to do some of these things for yourself too. So when she came to me, she asked me what I did. And this is a testament to clarity on what it is that you do. I barely had a conversation with this client, but in that short conversation that we had when we met, I told her that I help creative entrepreneurs to launch group programs. And helping people launch specifically group programs was what I was focused on at the time. I'm now, I work a lot with people who are launching one-on-one as well as group programs. And that conversation enough, like that little sentence that I said, planted a seed in her brain. And she reached out to me, a few weeks later and was like, that's exactly what I need help with. And she jumped in. And we started working together. She'd been sitting on an idea for a group program for a really long time. And so she was feeling kind of unsure around some of the decisions around actually delivering the group program. And she had no real direction to actually create it and launch it. So that's what she wanted my help with. And as I always do with clients on my 90-minute intensive, I just asked her a million different questions so that I can get really clear on who she is, who she wants to help, and how she wants to help them. And from that, I extracted her story. And this is always the most important part of the work when you're launching a new offer. Most important part of my work with clients is to get really clear on your story of how you have actually created transformation in your own life using the work that you help your clients with. So that's what we did during the call. We started to put together the main pieces of messaging, and I started to pull out the main pieces of her story that needed to go on the sales page that would really clearly illustrate that she was the right person to help people to create the result that she decided to offer with this group program. And that was a big part of the messaging work too, because so often people are helping you with relationships, or they're helping you with energy healing, or finding more peace and calm, or making more money, or finding empowerment and connecting more to your feminine energy. And there's so many different expressions of what that result can look like for a client. And obviously you have the ability, and this is really my specialty, is helping healers and energy workers and coaches and magical people who, you know, results really do vary, and people can have drastically different outcomes from the work that you do with them. And that's such a beautiful thing. But when it comes to creating a clear piece of marketing that speaks to a specific result, like that's the bit where it gets challenging. So that's really, we meet that criteria because you need to be able to stand behind a result. That's where we use your story, because your results are your results and your truth is your truth. What you've created is what you've created. You know, you can obviously also use stories of what you've helped clients to create as examples. And then I'm going to pull out of those stories the thread that ties that transformation together, that really articulates the most valuable aspect and angle of the work that you do and what it is that you embody and the wisdom that you are able to impart and deliver and share with clients, and obviously the transformation that you are best able to facilitate in people who come to work with you. So that's what I pulled out for her offer. And, you know, as we jumped into the Voxer support coaching, where we're messaging backwards and forwards every day for a week after our intensive to really fine tune the messaging. And she, you know, I tell her which bits to go away and continue writing from the copy that we created on the call together. And she would come back with a new version of her story. I would ask her more questions. She would go away and tweak it, you know, add things here and there. And we really craft the story that was most powerfully going to communicate the value of her work. And that's the most important piece to focus on in your sales page. Sales pages can go on for hundreds of, if not thousands of words, pages and pages. There's many different ways that you can create a sales page. And the type of sales page you create really depends on how it fits in your sales strategy. Like, which audience are you going to be showing the sales page to? How much do they already know about you? Are they warm? Are they completely cold strangers that, you know, have just landed on your page from a Facebook ad? All of that information is really, really important when you are designing the sales page that's going to hold the information that somebody would need to know in order to make an informed buying decision about your program and about working with you. So that's always what I take into consideration with all of my clients. The majority of people I work with are either speaking to a warm audience or are, you know, implementing an audience growth strategy, which is also something I help them with, to attract all the right kinds of people into their audience and continuing to warm them up mainly through organic social media marketing or through existing networks like an existing email list, or if you have a community in Facebook or Meetup or in a WhatsApp group that you created or a Telegram group. So I'm all about making a sales page that has the most important pieces that could sell both to a stranger and to somebody who already knows you a little bit, and really just gets to the point in what your offer includes, how it helps, how it will transform them. And I'm not really into like the super long, I used to write those for clients, like pages and pages and pages and pages of all of these different types of copywriting tactics and different elements of the sales conversation. And honestly, I'm a big believer in keeping it to the point in your sales pages. I think, in fact, I know that the most valuable thing about creating a sales page is the clarity that you get on your messaging when you create it. And I've seen this over and over again, not only with myself, but with clients. When you go through that process of really getting clear on how you would talk about your offer before you necessarily even put a single piece of copy out there, that internal clarity allows you to recognize an ideal client when they show up in your world. It empowers you to have a clear conversation and to communicate in a powerful way what you can actually do for that person. And that very often will lead to sales without them even having seen your sales page, without them even having necessarily seen your social media. you having clarity around your offer is the most important thing. Whenever I create a sales page for myself or I help clients to do that, it's a container to help you make the decisions that you need to make in order to be able to sell this thing. And this is the strategy, this messaging strategy that's focused on story, that's focused on value and result and transformation. This is the strategy that allows you to significantly raise your prices, to sell anything at any price, because it's so targeted and fine-tuned that your ideal client, it becomes irresistible to your ideal client because it's so uniquely tailored to them. So sidebar, let's get back to the main story here. So we did the sales page. Yeah, we fine-tuned her own story. And what I'm looking for when I'm helping somebody tweak a story is, let's get rid of the parts of your story that are actually irrelevant to where your ideal client is now. And maybe they're points of resonance that you may have had together in past, but we really, really, really want to focus on speaking to what your ideal client is thinking about right now, where she is right now, and what parts of your story most relate to where she is right now and what she's looking for support with. Those are the pieces that I'm gonna ask you questions until we've tweezed that out and we've tweezed out the most powerful parts of your story. Because anyone I work with could write a 50-page essay on, the powerful things that they've been through and the powerful transformations and results that they've been through. So this is the work, is really narrowing it down to the part that is the most relevant and the most potent in relationship to your offer and the result of your offer. And that's sometimes the hardest part, is being, this isn't about putting yourself in a box. This isn't about pigeonholing yourself. This is about selling and getting good at clearly pitching an offer. Because once a client works with you, you can work with them on all the things. You can have conversations around all the topics that are lighting you up, that are going to transform their life, but you can't put all of that into your marketing content. So we really do have to just focus on the top 2% of the most potent aspects of the transformation, and that's what we build your content strategy around. So, okay, she launched her sales page. She immediately got 20 applications within 48 hours of launching. And within a few short weeks, we continued to work together, she booked out her entire group program and she had a waiting list and she'd met all of her enrollment goals. So I want to talk a little bit about the specifics of this client, where she started out. So what she was currently doing when she came to work with me, she was running a lot of events, she was doing speaking gigs, and she had a long-standing podcast. And she wasn't selling any coaching programs, and she really needed some cash flow in her work. And so that was really what inspired her to launch this group program idea. And what she really wanted was help clarifying the details of her offer. And honestly, she already had a clear vision on this offer and how she wanted it to be delivered, how she wanted it to be helping people. But we all have that, right? We all get, once we're going for a big goal, we start overthinking decisions. And so having a decision partner in this phase of the process is just going to collapse time around you taking action and making moves to actually create and deliver what it is that you want. And she wanted help to plan her launch because she hadn't had much experience in launching. And she needed help to design the content strategy for the offer, which honestly, that's the launch plan, is what are you going to say and where are you going to say it? It's nothing fancy. Whenever I work with clients, I'm always helping them to identify, where are your people already? Who are you already connected to? And what's a plan that's the path of least resistance, most fun way for you to start getting in front of more of these ideal clients? And how can we be doing both of those things at once in the least time-consuming way possible? Hey, I have a really exciting new free series that I want to make sure you know about. It's called Sign Soulmate Clients with Astrology. And I created this because when I work with clients using their astrology charts, they stop trying to sell offers in a way that feels like pushing a boulder up a hill. They start selling what they're really excited to offer. They raise their rates, often doubling them. And soulmate clients start showing up more quickly and easily than ever, which is why I'm so thrilled to share this special 3-part training series with you to show you how to read specific parts of your chart to cut the drama of overthinking your storytelling and your prices and cut straight to the actions and insights that lead to signing soulmate clients consistently with ease month after month. So when you sign up, you're going to get instant access to video number 1, which is all about signing soulmate clients by selling from your sun sign. Video number 2 is about tapping into your sales flow through your second house. And video number 3 is going to show you how to create your unique ritual for consistent clients and money flow. You don't need to know anything more than your birth time, date, and place, and I will show you what you need to know about your birth chart. This is for anyone looking to create a more consistent flow of sales from soulmate clients. And you can find this by going to my website withsarahmac.com under the freebies tab, or by the link in my bio on my social channels. On the call, once we'd got clear on all of the details of who she is, so that I can help clearly articulate that to her clients, prospective clients, help her to get really clear on what she's most excited to focus on in her work with clients, because this, by the way, is the secret to skyrocketing your launch. Pick the things you love, love, love to talk about. Pick the things that you love to teach on, that you're most excited to be helping people with, and you're going to talk about it with more passion. You're going to talk about it with more conviction, and the sales are going to go better. Like, I can tell you that every time. So we got clear on who she wanted to call in as clients. And because she'd been surrounded by her ideal client and in speaking events, in, in-person communities, she was a real community builder. She just wasn't great at monetizing it, which is where I came in. So she knew her ideal clients really in depth because she was talking to them all the time. So this is another reason why I believe this was such an instant success. So then we went on to clarify the details of the offer and the launch plan. I helped her just set a really clear goal and intention for her offer and put that in writing, her income and enrollment goals, and to clearly outline how she wanted to deliver the offer so there was no question marks. And she was making all of those decisions, so she felt really clear going into her launch. She wanted to bring in guest speakers. She wanted it to be super scalable and not dependent on too much of her time. It was a 6-month program. Her goal was to enroll 24 people, to bring in over $100,000, and she had 2 tiers. The lower tier was priced at $2,500 for this initial launch, and the second tier was priced at $7,200. And she was launching to her existing audiences, her podcast community, her social media. She had some WhatsApp groups, and she had some speaking events planned that she planned to launch it at. And we set up the clear sales and enrollment process, which would be an application process. So there was an invitation to apply on the sales page. We designed the questionnaire for people to give all the information that she needed to be able to approve these people in their application. And then that was followed up by a sales call where she would pitch and enroll people. We outlined the dates of each phase of the launch. And this is why it was wildly successful. She just needed that clarity, that strategy, that direction, and just some empowerment to really back her vision and what it is that she wanted, and to see the opportunities to leverage her existing resources to bring this to life. So here are some of the reasons why this was such a quick and instant success for her. It's mainly because she has a very well-established brand and network. And within that network, she has a long-established credibility, because even though she hadn't been creating offers and selling, she'd been talking about this for a really, really long time. Now, I'm not going to recommend this. I'm a big believer in be selling, be serving people, and be making money from day one. it only takes a small number of clients for you to start to have a really great income when you're selling high ticket coaching. And obviously the community building and the nurturing and the authority building is really, really, really important part of your ongoing strategy as a coach for, sustained income year after year on your business. So she'd really, built awareness around her expertise in these topics. She already had a lot of authority and likability and knowability through her podcast, through speaking events, right? There's a lot of trust that she had built within her community. And that's why people were like, oh my God, this woman has an offer, get me in there right now, right? Like she was desirable because of how much she had given and how much content she had created and how well established she was as a brand around the topics of her offer. So that was really, really in alignment for her. Like she had a long line of people who were hungry for more of her support and for ways to work with her more closely. And I do believe that, even though speaking events hasn't been a big part of my strategy, I have done it occasionally before I was like going through my whole immigration to the US and I was just a pirate floating in between countries that I had no residency in and I didn't have the permits to be doing in-person events. But when I was in Canada and I had a work permit there, I did some there, and anytime you can get in the room with people, it just shortcuts the trust factor in your relationship. And I always get clients that way. And obviously, if you live in a remote place, I also traveled the world for 8 years. I was in 18 different countries, and often I wasn't anywhere near the countries of the clients that I was working with. So that's where we leverage content. And really lean on sharing our story, showing up, being visible on video to, again, shortcut the trust and build relationships with people. And most importantly about this client is this woman really truly embodies her work. And what she was selling, she wasn't, by all means, was not perfect at what she was selling. She was still going through it. She was working through a lot of stuff as she was launching this, as is always the case with my clients. As soon as you start to launch a program in something, the universe is going to be like, cool, here's your next level of lessons and struggles and challenges for you to deepen into your knowledge and skills in this area. But she was doing the work day in, day out. And that honestly is the thing that makes your work the easiest to sell as a coach and a leader is, are you walking the talk and are you doing it fully with a full heart, with full vulnerability, with full transparency and, respect and celebration for yourself. So yeah, this was just really, really inspiring to see. It was a huge result for her and it's just testament to what's possible. So when you add to these things some solid strategy, a really hot, well thought out, well articulated offer, plus potent messaging that's focused on bringing forward her story in a way that clearly shows what's possible, plus a simple, focused launch plan targeted at the right audience with the right message. And, she had a ton of other projects going on. So this also had to fit in to a very full plate, which is absolutely possible with a coaching business. And when you're launching online coaching programs and courses, it can be done in a few really potent pieces of content a day. Boom, 6 figures in sales and a dream business plan brought to life within a matter of weeks. And I know she sold a few one-on-one spots priced at well over 10K off the back of this launch as well. So, everything sells everything when you really run a successful launch with a really powerful message. And for those of us who aren't there with like a large developed audience and network, know that you can focus on selling higher ticket, and it's really becomes much easier for you to hit those next level income goals with a much smaller number of clients, while you're doing the work to nurture, to show up and embody your work, to put your passion into your mission, and focus on showing up and impacting as many lives as possible. Get your work out there in whatever ways you can and keep building. Start with a one-on-one high ticket offer or even a high ticket group offer that would make it possible to hit your income goal with just a handful of people enrolled, and really bring that one person at a time mentality. That's really how I built my business. How can I serve one person today? And one more, and one more. who is in your audience already. Tap into your existing networks and audiences. Trust that it's enough, right? It's enough for you to keep building and to get to where you want to go, maybe so much more quickly than you might think. You really only need a very small percentage of your network to say yes to bring your business vision to life when you're selling high ticket coaching. And, I also have strategies to jumpstart your business or your new offering that can start to fill your offers surprisingly quickly. I started as an immigrant with 0 connections in North America. I built my business from scratch. I was making 5-figure months with only 200 people on my email list, one person at a time. So I hope this story has inspired you and you've got some good nuggets from this. And, if you're ready for that support, for that decision partner, for some strategic messaging and launch plan support, please reach out to book a 90-minute intensive with me. We can do a week of Voxer follow-up to get that offer dialed in, get your messaging strategy in place, get you feeling really clear on the storytelling angles that will have your dream clients raising their hands to work with you. We can put together the sales page for your program, plan out a simple, fun launch based on your current network, skills, and stage of business, and design the pieces of content to start making sales right away. Now you're feeling clear and excited about what you're selling and feeling confident on how to sell it. So please reach out. If you are ready for that support, send me an email at sarah@withsarahmac.com or DM me on Instagram at Creative Magic Club, and we can have a chat about where you are and the best way that we can use our time together to launch your exciting new offer. So I'm sending you so much love. Please let me know how this episode landed, like what came up for you, were you inspired by, what are you committing to going forward. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm sending you so much love. Bye. For more inspirational content, head over to my website withsarahmac.com, and please support the show by liking, commenting, and subscribing.